Hello farmers and aspiring farmers. Today we are going to be looking at tobacco production here in Zimbabwe. And you would understand that every value chain, especially looking at our agricultural industry, emanates from research. It is research which guides us into production. We go on to processing, marketing, and finally consumption. Now we cannot ignore the imperative role that research plays in the tobacco industry. To discuss this and more, I'm joined by Dr. Magama, a seasoned plant breeder, the Chief Executive Officer of Kutsaga. Dr. Magama, thank you for taking time off of your busy schedule to come onto our platform.
Most welcome, Watsanai. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yes, I understand that Kutsaga has come of age. You are celebrating 75 years in the game. And as such, you'd find that Kutsaga has been named on various occasions, different platforms,
Yes,
as one of the best, the leading research institutions in the world. How are you celebrating? A dive into that. What does it mean to you and your team here at Kutsaga?
Thank you so much. It's a very special for year. 75 years is such a long time to be contributing to the nation solidly, year after year, contributing to the economic development. So this special year, the management at Kutsaga and the board took it upon itself to make sure that this celebration is felt everywhere.
Yes.
So if I may remind you, Watsanai, it's on the 6th of February. We started with a field day where we showcased all the varieties that have been developed at Kutsaga, starting from the very first variety that was imported from the US, what it looked like, how it grew, to the best of the varieties that we have at the moment. So that historical showcase was here at Kutsaga, and the ceremony was officiated by our own permanent secretary, Professor Obed Jiri, and it was fascinating to see the crowd, the industry stakeholders to come and witness a history frozen in time. Then just last month, Watsanai, we were at the University of Zimbabwe carrying a research symposium where we were looking at all the researches that are impacting our nation in terms of tobacco and where we want to go. And we also took the opportunity to reward and recognize some of the stalwarts people that have shaped the industry as it was. So we looked back in the history of Kutsaga and we made sure those stars that made sure where we are were recognized. So we gave awards for those that laid the foundation for this institution, including the young scientists that are contributing now, including companies that have contributed in terms of machinery to make sure that tobacco in Zimbabwe remains #1 in Africa, if not in the world.
Yes.
So we were so happy that the minister, out of his busy schedule, came and officiated at that platform. We still have a number of programs that we hope the nation would join us in celebrating as we come to the end of the year. We continue celebrating this momentous year for ourselves. So the nation is advised to stay tuned and come and join us in our celebrations.
Now, Dr. Magama, when you speak of research and its importance, people would want to know, our Zimbabwean farmers, the farming community, those who are looking either to invest or even participate along the tobacco value chain. What are your activities here? What does it entail to be the leading institution when it comes to research? I understand that you're not just limited to tobacco. You're also venturing into potatoes, sweet potatoes, citrus, fruits, whatever it is that you're doing here. Your sentiments, your activities here in a snippet as we close.
Thank you so much. So for us, it's about our staff, the trained and dedicated staff here. At Kutsaga, we have such a dedicated staff and trained staff that looks into the needs of our agricultural nation. As you said, we're no longer looking at tobacco only. We're looking at all crops. So set ourselves, Watsanai, in a manner where we've got what we call clusters and sectors to look into agriculture holistically. So we look into variety and genetics development. For us to start growing tobacco, there must be that best variety, that genetics that does well in our country and does well for the international markets. And we look into, once we develop that, how do you grow it? What kind of pesticides and herbicides does it need for it to be the best? So we've got a team of dedicated scientists that look into that. How about the quality of the irrigation water, of the chemicals that are using, what we call analytical chemistry? So we've got a big group of scientists that look into that. So out of this research, it can be research for Kutsaga. It has to be tailor-made for our growers. So we then write pamphlets, booklets, and boots on the ground. We've got a team of dedicated regional agronomists and a training and extension team that then goes out and train everyone who needs to hear or understand any specific aspects of tobacco. So in a nutshell, this is how we have structured our work. The research component, dissemination component and after service. Now, if you come at Kutsaga for training, at the end of the training, we have further gone to validate that the training has been received. We also give you a test for us to evaluate whether the training is good. And as you can see, we're starting to see the impact of the training, the impact of the research on the national output of the volumes that are coming from the nation. So we are not increasing the size of our land that we are growing, but productivity per 1 hectare is starting to go up because of that impact. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Magama. That was very detailed. Indeed, the tobacco here in Zimbabwe is unique to a point that it is referred to as Zimbabwe flavored tobacco. It was a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you so much.